to become a bigger consumer of content? When was it you decided, actually, I kind of want to make videos instead of watching them? What sort of stage was that at? Did you do any when you were in school?
No.
Really?
No, literally, it was a real late thing in terms of pretty much. It was maybe a couple of months before creating the channel. It was a very spontaneous thing. I was just
so
like,
F1 Fanatics was your first one?
Mm.
Really? I've got that in here as a question because I didn't know. But that's mad, yeah, that it was your first one.
Yeah, that was literally, and I was just literally like, I just like talking about sport a lot. And I didn't have many, football I think is quite, especially growing up in England, you can always find football as a conversation, I think, with people.
Yeah.
I think it's a very like generalised thing you can find. Where F1, I would say, is kind of harder to come by.
100%.
So I was like, thinking about the two, whether it be like...
It was literally the same with Tomo. We were having the same chat about because he actually did end up doing football content for a bit. It just didn't do anything. Literally, I think he was saying it was like... it was either 2 years and he got 400 subs, or 4 years and he got 200 subs, something like that.
I feel like football is like a drop in the ocean, unless you're like big reactions. Like obviously, AFTV went kind of all in on the kind of fan reactions, and that's what kind of elevated it into now they can make more kind of fan based content, which I'd say probably a lot of the F1 YouTube stuff is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think football was such a saturated market. So I literally was like, football's flooded, F1 doesn't seem to be too much on there. So I'm going to go, and F1 I don't really have too much to talk about, too many people to talk about. So I was like, oh, we'll go with that. And then, a year and a bit onwards, and we're here in your living room.
Yeah. How did this happen? Suddenly in my living room. So you're quite lucky then, because if F1 Fanatics was your first channel, you don't have any embarrassing content from when you were a kid just lurking around, because I do. Holy shit, I do, and I'm not leaving any links out there to those. Now I can show you some before. Oh my god,
if you can find it, you've earned it.
If you can find it, like, fair play, go for it. But otherwise I think I'm going to do a little reaction video in the future at some point.
It's good to hold that in the locker, I think.
Don't worry, I know, I've got like 3 channels of old content I can use.
We can just literally go back to our race preview, and it's just, our old videos aren't really embarrassing. I would just kind of say they're just poor made videos.
Yeah, well, I was going to talk about, because I did have a little look at your first video as I was sort of researching the script for this. But firstly, just with your channel, how did the channel actually come about? Because you were saying sort of you had a thought a couple of months before of what you were going to do and what you would think you wanted to make the channel, but you weren't too sure. Firstly, how did you come up with a name? Secondly, how did actually the channel end up happening and you ended up recording that first video?
So the name actually comes from Hayley, because me and Ash literally had a conversation, I think on the Sunday before the British Grand Prix. And we were like, I was like, I'm thinking of making a channel, do you want to do it with me? And Ash is Hayley's brother. Yeah. And we were just going through names, and then Hayley was like, what about and she was just like reading off, and like, what about F1 Fanatics? And we're like, oh, actually that works. That works quite well. That's quite easy to make a brand logo type thing on. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, we'll go for that. And then obviously the old kind of logo of the F1 Fanatics cartoon you write, and then the cartoon car on that was the one. Well, actually, I think we went through. I think the original one was a little cartoon man waving a checkered flag. Yes, it is. I remember seeing those in the old thumbnails. Yeah. So we just, and then the car came in, and then obviously recently we rebranded to the kind of silhouette figures and just a bit more. The best one of the year. The best one of the year, I would say. Yeah. Definitely. That's good. Yeah, definitely. I much prefer the old one. Oh damn! Yeah. Now I'm gonna go back.
I remember when you were looking at changing it. I remember you sent me a little thing of a couple of things, and I was like, no, mate, definitely that one with the little cutouts and whatnot.
Yeah,
that was good.
That kind of worked the best. So, and then literally, it was like, should we do it? And I was like, yeah. So I think we then filmed the Thursday, and I think it was on my phone. Right. That was uploaded, and it took like ages to upload. Yeah. And then the first ever picture is one from my camera that I took at Silverstone the previous year. I think it was a Mercedes, I think it was Lewis Hamilton.
Right.
And with some kind of crappy, the basic text you get on editing a photo on there and just went there. So that's how it came. It was literally spontaneous. I would like to say that I'm a well thought out, planned person, but I literally just kind of just go for it, and jump in and see where you end up.
Yeah, I've got
try and improve each.
I've got it here. You are correct. It is indeed Lewis Hamilton at Silverstone with some text that is barely visible because the colours are just bad. Yeah, so not the best.
I've definitely got a lot better at the thumbnails.
I would agree, yeah, I would agree, mate. Well, you should give yourself that. It has a total of... Actually, I'm guessing you don't know how many views it has. Could you have a guess? How many views do you reckon that first video has? A British Grand Prix preview from, was it 2017?
I think it had some views kind of go back on it. I think it's around about the 82 mark.
Oh, he's close. 88. There you go. A smash hit, some would say.
Because I know it had around about like 50, 60 when it started, and then I think some people when they come on the channel just...
Especially with the...
back on the back.
You can go on and just click from newest to oldest, so they immediately see the first one and you just click that one. So, yeah, but I was watching it, and I hope you don't mind me saying, I don't want to be too mean, you are quite awkward in it.
Yeah.
Compared to how you are now, you're a lot more easy on camera and free-flowing. You're quite sort of... Hi, I'm Mike from F1 Fanatics, and today you weren't quite sure about yourself.
Racing bit at that stage.
Probably didn't, yeah.
I don't think we did. No, but literally, yeah, I would be interested to see what you think. Getting on camera for the first time is really awkward and weird. Like talking into a camera, it feels weird. See, that's what I had. So I've made like 8 channels since I was like 12 or something, just making different crap content. So that sort of slowly allowed me to get more comfortable in front of the camera. So then when I made this channel, it was pretty, not easy, but came to me easier to begin with this one. So yeah, jumping into the deep end with F1 Fanatics being your first one, I think your progression has been very fast. What you've done in like 2 years, what took me like 8 to actually get comfortable. I think also it probably helps the careers that I have in terms of being quite forward-facing things. It's almost like a performing and presenting, and once you kind of get used to sitting in front of a camera, it's quite easy to just do that and do whatever. It becomes natural, doesn't it? Also, I have to say, it has 88 views and it has 1 dislike. That first video has 1 dislike. If you're the man... I can't believe it. It wasn't me! I swear it wasn't me! What a bell end. Imagine you actually went on, it was me. I'm like, fuck it. There is no way of checking though, so you're anonymous. True. You're anonymous forever, but we know who you are. Anomalous. 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 Yeah, that's exactly what you out there, undislike the video and like it instead. Naughty. Bad people. So Meerkat is the thumbs up connoisseur, I would say. The thumber. Yeah, just when you came on the live stream, we somehow managed to get more thumbs up than people actually watching. It works! I didn't even know what was happening. Because if you just thumbs up now! If you just ask, people just do it, but then even when they leave, their thumbs up stays there. So then even when it's going up and down, the thumbs up just keeps going up. Have that. Even when they leave, they don't take their thumbs up with them. No. They leave it. They leave it with us. That's perfect. And also, in that first video, the lovely Tara makes a big appearance as well, which is great. That hasn't changed over 2 years. Still got. Is it 2 years, 3 years? I would say she's actually the most fame hungry out of all of us. She does. You like look away and you're like, oh no, my cat's trying to get in. She gets in, walks across the table, changes her mind, goes in front, and then just sits in front of you. And you can see you're thinking like, what's this cat? This cat's sitting in front of the bloody camera. I was like, but I didn't know how to kind of. I was like, at that stage. You're like, you didn't want to do is it Alinity, I think, where she just grabs the cat and yeets over her shoulder. There was a wall behind you, so that probably wouldn't have been the best thing to do. No. First video, lob a cat at a wall. But it would actually be interesting if someone was actually, I say sad enough, if someone's dedicated enough, that sounds nicer, to go back and see how many video appearances she's made, either by physical appearance in the video or by meowing in the background. It would be interesting to know the percentage of videos she's done it. I reckon it's probably quite a few. Yeah. That would be a serious task for someone, because
Well, according to YouTube, you have 373 videos on your channel.
Yeah.
So I guess that includes live streams and everything as well.
Yeah, live streams.
But bloody hell, that's a few, mate. So that would be a lot for someone to go through and looking at Tara. But if you're a real fan of the F1 Fanatics channel, you will do it. So